Hello and welcome back. In my last video, I talked about using MeWe on the desktop. Today, I wanted to go over the mobile version of the MeWe app and kind of go through the walkthrough basically for those who may not know all the different features and everything. Obviously, it's a social media network that keeps being upgraded and changed all the time, so this may not be accurate even tomorrow. But for right now, pretty much that's how it works and what it does, and it is pretty nice app and certainly useful and usable just like the desktop version is. Okay, so let's share the screen here of the phone and work on that. Okay, there it is. And we've got new version of Bixby available. We don't need that. So there's my shiny, not so new Galaxy S9 phone, and I'll show you how things work on that. So we go into the home screen, and then we jump into MeWe, right there, and there it is. Okay, so we go to the home page and see what's going on. So the home page is where you have your kind of main timeline, as they call it, which is your mainstream, and you've got all kinds of different people posting all kinds of different articles and your articles and music videos, and so you can see it's a single panel or single column display. And as you can see, you can have in the mobile app, you see all the features. You see the text, you see the graphics, you see the emojis, numbers, basically everything. And of course, you can participate by simply clicking on the appropriate option and doing whatever action you want to take. So let's say if I wanted, for example, to leave a comment here, all I would have to do is click on comments, and it will jump me in here, and I can start typing whatever I want to say, and you hit the arrow key here, tap that, and that's it. As you can see, in addition to me being able to type text, I can also add a voiceover by clicking on the little microphone icon here. I can also add images, and when you click on images, what happens is you come up with your Google Photos media, which is pretty handy, so you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this thing here. Also, you can click on the camera icon to take a photo, and also you can click on GIF icon to select one of the animated GIFs, which is handy for some people that use that. So, quite a few options here for those coming from Google+. Obviously, the features are similar, with the exception of being able to actually add a voice comment or a voice message right there in the comments on the post, and everything else is pretty much similar. And you have the basic emojis right there, where you can select from some of the recent ones you've used, and you can select from fairly high number of various emojis, different topics, and they also sell packs of emojis. That's how they basically monetize their platform, by using that. And so I'm going to go ahead and back out of this comment because I don't want to pollute their post here. I'm just going to do my own post. So that's how you can comment on an existing post, and you just keep scrolling through the post here and look at your timeline to see who posted what, why, and where, and so on and so forth. As you can see, if you got some animated things, they automatically are animated, like that image right there. I'm not doing anything to make it animated. Videos, you have to push the play button to play, which makes perfect sense. So anyway, so that's the main interface there. On the bottom, let's just kind of go through the options first. So on the bottom of the interface, you can see there is next to home button, there's the collections button. And the collections on the mobile app are a little different than collections on the desktop app. The mobile app collections represent not only groups, as they call them, which are similar to Google Plus communities, but also pages. So for example, that top PCS page right there under my community is actually a MeWe page, like a which is similar, like I said, to Google Plus collections, meaning that this is something that you can populate, and all the features that go with it normally go with in terms of content you can put up, but nobody else can contribute to that particular page. So this would be perfect for using this for like a business page where you want to put information out there for people to see, but you don't want them doing anything more than commenting. And they also have very granular security set up here, so you can totally control who comments, if they can comment, if they can't comment. I mean, it's very nicely done. Much more capable in terms of managing it, in my opinion, than Google Plus ever was. So they did a really nice job with that. But I wish they do the same thing on the desktop app, meaning that in the desktop interface, you have a menu option called Pages, where all of these go, and then you also have a called Groups, where the groups go. But on the mobile app, they set it up so both pages and groups are within these communities. And you can see here, you can select, like if I go to my groups, these are all the groups I belong to, including my own groups, right there. And then you can also browse and find other groups. And then if I go to my pages, then these are the pages, like this PCS is my page, and then these TechCrunch and Fox News is what I'm subscribing to, other pages I'm subscribing to. Okay, at the top here, this is something that's kind of an optional section. When I say optional, it's there if there is any content for you, and it disappears if there isn't. So right now I have this Gary Larson's collection, I keep calling collection, Gary Larson's page that I subscribe to, and so it shows me there are 4 new posts there. And so what I can do, that's the little number 4 right there, indicating how many. So if I tap on it, it's going to open it up, you know, Gary Larson fans, then you have the Gary Larson cartoons there. So as you can see, this is number 1, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And notice now, even though I'm trying to move and scroll, I cannot scroll anymore because it only shows me what I haven't seen yet. So that's another, I think, very, very useful feature of MeWe, that you're able to easily consume the content. You know, if you subscribe to the content, you're able to consume it, but you don't need to be flipping through and trying to figure out, you know, what was the last thing I saw. It shows you right there, 4 new posts right there at the top, and then you can scroll through these 4 posts. And then when I get done, I can, at the bottom here, you can see I can go to group by clicking on the big link below, or I can click on the little X to get out of it. And notice when I get out of it, now at the top of the screen, I don't have that indicator yet, that notification. So the idea is that if you have people in these various communities that want to interact with you and have content for you, new content, you'll see it at the top of the display there. But once you consume all of it, once you've seen everything new, then it's going to simply go away. So you can easily, quickly tell if you go to communities and the first thing you see is my pages, that means you don't have anything new. So notification system is also, I think, is somewhat superior to what Google Plus had in a number of ways. So that's the communities part. So again, it's pages and also it's groups. For those who don't know, the groups are like Google Plus communities, meaning you can have content you create, you can allow people in automatically or by approving one person at a time, so you have full control. But people are able to participate and create their own content to go into your group or community. But when it comes to pages, that's the same thing, with the exception that people cannot contribute anything other than comments. Okay, they cannot create posts in your pages. So again, that's something you might want to consider to set up for your business. The only thing to think in terms of the only thing to think about that also might be a consideration is that they also have ability to have events, like date events with calendaring, and you can set it up, you can invite people, your contacts, very nicely done. But you cannot do that with pages, you can only do that with groups. So this is something that I wish they would change. Maybe I'm hoping they would change it at some point in time. Another thing that they don't allow you to do is you cannot share to a page, you can only share to a group, which I think is also something I'm hoping they will fix at some point. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's intentional on their part, but I think it would be very nice to be able to have content that you can share to your page just as easily as you can share to your group. So anyway, so that's the communities. And if I go and click on my PCS community, if I go there, you can see my posts there. Every post, just like on the desktop version, can have hashtags. The only problem with the interface on the app is even though you can put in a hashtag manually, they don't have a little hashtag link like you do on the desktop version. On the desktop version, you just click on a hashtag icon, and then it allows you to search for existing hashtags or create a new one, which is very convenient, very handy. They don't have this ability on the mobile app. So you can easily type as part of your content, part of your post, whatever hashtags you want, but it's not going to be, you cannot do it similarly like you can do it on the desktop app where you can just click on the hashtag link. So that's a little different from that standpoint. Other than that, it's very similar. And as you can see, you can, I can click on share. Well, I guess it's a page. No, I can't click on share. So see, they don't allow me to even do sharing from this page here, which is a little bit weird because I should be able to share this somewhere else as well. Then we have the comments. So you just click on the comment link, and then it comes up and you can type in your comments. So here, I'm just going to leave a voice message to show you how simple this is. So I'm going to click on the microphone, and I'm going to record my message. It automatically starts recording, and I can say whatever I want, as much as I want. And when I get done, I just simply click on the right icon there to stop recording. At this point, I can play it back. I'm going to record my message. It automatically starts recording, and I can say whatever I want, as much as I want. And when I get done, I just simply click on the right icon there. Yeah, so you can see, it recorded what I said. Very easy, not much to it in terms of how difficult it is. It's not difficult at all. And then I can, as you can imagine, that little trash can on the left allows me to delete this voice comment, or I can actually post it by clicking on the icon in the middle there. And also, it's interesting to know that you can see the duration of the message. And you can do this multiple times. It doesn't have to be just one. And so when you get done like this, then you wind up with something like this. I'm going to put in a test comment in here too. So I'm just going to pop comment for testing or something and post that. And so now we have comment, the text, we have the voice message. I can also put in comment and image. Oops, image. So I'm going to click on that. Select one of the photos I just took the other day and click done. And now I have a photo right there, and I have an image. And of course, you can select multiple photos too if you wanted to. And then if I post that, you can see it looks like this. You have the text there, and you have the image of the photo. If you click on the photo, it goes full screen. As you would imagine, click back, you're back to there. You can also add emojis, obviously, at any point in time. If I wanted to comment and put emoji on this thing with like this, I can just type that in, and now I have this emoji, and it shows one, meaning one time somebody emoji thumbs up. It actually keeps track of multiple emojis, so that's also different than Google Plus used to do, because there you can just type in whatever emojis. Here, it actually puts them kind of next to each other and tracks them separately. So if I wanted to add this one and then add this one, you can see it says one, and if you want to get rid of it, then you click on it again, and like that. So you can have multiple emojis, and when people click on them, if they click on the existing emojis, it just adds one to the count, and so you can easily see who clicked on what. Very nicely done, very, very nicely done. And of course, people can reply, and if I type a reply by hitting the icon on the bottom right there, it's got a little arrow right there. If I tap on that, it's going to allow me to type in a reply, so it shows me the content to the comment I'm replying to. Then you type in your reply. Reply goes here. Okay, And in addition to that, now I can obviously add an image myself, but I can also, and take a picture, but I can also record a voiceover. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick recording for this reply. So you can actually see, you can not only put this kind of content inside a comment, but you can also put it inside replies. I mean, all of it is the same thing. It doesn't matter where you put it. So I'm going to go ahead and post that. And so now we have that. And if you jump back into the original post right there, you can see there is my original recording voiceover there as a comment. Then there's text comment. Then there's text with the image there. And if you notice on the bottom right, where I clicked on the reply, notice that it has 1 next to it. And so that number 1 right there represents that there is 1 or more replies, or in this case, it would show you if you had more. The number represents how many replies you have. So it's also a very convenient and useful feature. We, from the Google Plus community that's migrating here, many of us, we're not used to doing things this way. In other words, you don't think of replies being something that you would have a count on. You just see people put replies, and you have, you know, a zillion different basically comments going on. But the way this works is they actually put it in like a conversation. So a comment can have its own conversation, and they show it separately. And I think that's phenomenal compared to how Google Plus used to be, because in Google Plus, if you type in, or if you select the reply icon, the only thing you got was the person's name being automatically inserted into your comment, but the comments are just a slew of comments. There is no way to tell anything else in terms of what the conversation is supposed to be, or like a branch of conversation. So think of this as a branch of a conversation, and that's exactly what MeWe does, and you would have multiple items there. And of course, you know, I have this reply. I can also reply to this reply by putting in additional comments here and stuff. It's awesome. They don't go on multiple levels. Notice I cannot reply, quote unquote reply to this reply. I can only put in a comment that goes together with whatever was replied. So it's only 1 level deep, which makes sense, because otherwise it gets crazy in terms of having multiple levels of indentation. But at the same time, I think it's an excellent feature to have the replies to a particular item or particular comment be in its own little group. I think it's excellent how they did this as part of the user interface. Also notice that here we got where it says comments, it shows the number. That's another thing that I love, how they're showing numbers everywhere. And you know, I can add an emoji. Obviously, these are ghosted, meaning I can't use them. So basically, it's, of course, to delete it, if it's my comment, I can just pull down. I can turn off the comment notifications for this particular post if I want to. So it's on that level of detail. I can also do a report page if it's something wrong. I can also edit it, and I can delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this comment. I'm going to go ahead and delete this comment. And the only thing I have left is this, and I'm going to delete this comment as well, so it doesn't pollute my posts. And now we're back to where we were before. Okay, so that's your basic idea of having a commenting and replying capability for posts. And in this case, it's a page post. If we go to a group, let's say we go back to communities, which is, again, you can just simply tap on the button on the button on the bottom, that communities button. And also notice that it's got a little red circle next to it. The red circle represents new content. So if I see it says communities new circle, I mean a red circle, that means I can tap on it and it'll come up and it'll show me with the little counts and everything, where I have new content. Okay. Sometimes it gets a little bit delayed, like in this case here, I don't have any more new content. So you have to basically do a refresh, and then it goes away. It just syncs every so often. And so you might be consuming your content, you know you're done, but it still shows a little red dot. So that's where you just simply refresh, you know, a little tap. And to refresh, you just pull down the screen like normally you refresh any refreshable app from the top down. So we'll do it again here. And then this little reload icon comes up, and then you let go, and it just refreshes, and you can see it's all done. So I don't have any new content there. And if I wanted to click on any of my groups, let's see what we got here. We go to, let's click on somebody else's group. So you can see there's tons of different, you click on groups, and you can do search for groups and zillion different things that come up. Let's look at Southeast Asia for, let's look at, yeah, Southeast Asia. One of the things that's different about MeWe compared to Google Plus is that in Google Plus, I was able to go to, as long as it wasn't a private private community, which is the same what groups are here, I was able to actually see the content there because it was public content. Here, they don't do that. So the idea is that if you go to any group, some of the groups you can join, some of the groups you have to ask for to get an invite to join. Like I said, the security is much, much better on MeWe compared to how Google Plus used to be. But you cannot see what's in the group. So that's a little bit disappointing. I hope they change it because they just recently introduced the public posts for your own mainstream, your timeline. So now you can share it with not just your contacts, which are people that follow you, but also to you can share it to the public at large. So people will be able to see your post kind of for discoverability type capabilities. In this case here, I think it would go a long way to look at this group here and see what is going on. And it gives you the description here, and also it tells you how many members are. You can see there's 2,400 members in this group. Group type is travel. It says I can join or report, but there's nothing else I can do. I can't look and see what's inside the group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back here, go to pull down the menu and select my groups. Now it's going to show me all the groups I'm a member of, including the groups that I've set up. So let's go to my music group, Jazz Fusion Aficionados there. And as you can see, you can have polls. So you can create a poll directly in the post. That works pretty well. Let's not close this one just yet. According to my poll here, we got 4 categories, and looks like jazz funk is the most popular one out of 14 people who voted so far. Okay, and then there's somebody left a comment there, you can see there. And then if we look at videos, like for example, this video here, then we'll go ahead and play via YouTube. Okay. So that works. And same thing goes with comments and here. For some reason, I think they must be making some kind of maintenance because the share buttons are disabled right now. Normally they're not. So there's something going on. Maybe they're making adjustments. So I can't show you the share. But the share normally works similar to what you'd expect, with the exception it's only sharing on this platform itself. So I'm sure they're going to change it so you can share to other places as well in the future. So you have comments, share, you have emojis, you have your posts. Pretty simple. If you're sitting at the if you scroll down like that, you can see the little fab there, which is a little round pencil here for editing. That's to create a new. I don't know why they made it edit. It's the plus for creating new content, but that's what it is. You can put in all these different things you can create to create your new ads. Okay, so that's that. You can also go into chat. So I clicked on the chat icon at the top right corner, and you can go into chat, and that's chat specifically for this group. You can see at the top it shows the group name, and it says it's a group, and then it has this one comment I put in. So you can have people having conversations in chat. Has nothing to do with comments and posts. It has to do with chat. That's a separate function of this particular group. So I can have people discussing things dealing with this group that are members of this group in this separate chat area, which is really slick. You can also have regular chat discussing with anybody anything, but this chat here, where you can just get into that, goes directly into chatting for people in this group, which is very, very convenient, very handy. So that's the kind of walk through the communities part. In terms of the next icon at the bottom there is the chat, since we started talking about chat. That just allows you to go and look at chats for groups, which are at the top there. And also you can just do chats with individual people. Let's see, here's my using my, now, for example, Michelle here, one of my friends from Google Plus from France. So here's an example of conversation with him. I got to be careful showing his stuff because he used to be a sniper. We don't want to irritate anybody like that. But there is Michelle, and if you want to look at group chat, you go like there's a group chat from my Camera Amiga group, and people discuss different things. You can kind of see all kinds of content. You got emojis going on, you got pictures inserted, you got links, and of course, if somebody puts in a link, you click on the link, and it opens it up as you would expect. So all of that works really, really nicely and very convenient, very cool. So you can chat with individuals, you can chat with whole groups of people. Very convenient, very handy. You can just create a new chat by clicking on the chat there, and you can do several things here where you can do video call, voice call, secret chat, regular chat, and close it. So let's talk about this for a second. So video calls and voice calls is something that they use also to monetize the platform. I mean, MeWe creators do. And so if you want to be able to do this, they will let you do, let's see if I click on make a call, voice and video, it'll give you the screen that says that you get the highest quality video and audio calling on the planet, which may be a little bit over the top there with that kind of comment. I haven't actually tried it, so maybe they are right. I'm not sure. But it says you can try it for free for 3 days, and then if you like it, you're only paying $1.99 a month to have both capability, both video and audio calling. If you don't like it, then obviously you don't have to use it, and you don't have to pay for it. So it's one of these things that I think would be very convenient, useful to have that as capability. Plus, if you buy it, you support the platform, which I'm definitely planning to do, because I don't want something that capable to be going the way Google Plus public site is, which means it's going to be shut down. So definitely I'm going to support these guys because I think they did a fabulous job putting this together. So that's the voice calling and audio calling. Also, they have the secret chat, which is another thing that they enable you to do. I think you can, I don't know if that's a separate purchase. Yeah, it's a secret chat is currently set up on a different device. If you move secret chat to this device, you will no longer be able to send secret chats. Like move secret device. Okay, so I initially apparently went into to check it out on my desktop, and so it's doing it on a what they call P2P, totally encrypted level where it's completely secure. But they only do it between 2 different devices, and you cannot do it between more than 2 apparently. So on your end, that is, you can do it with multiple other people, but if they have the same capability, but it has to be on a particular device on your end. At least for right now. So I'm gonna move it to here because that's where mostly I live, and see also they're using that to monetize too. Gives you latest end-to-end encryption, no BS. That's their motto on MeWe, no BS, which is excellent. And then of course they do a little jab into Facebook by saying WhatsApp actually tracks what you're doing, even though it's supposed to be secure. So that's pretty cool. So that's what the secret chat is for. And when you do create, go into chats, and you want to do some talking to people, let's say that, let's say I wanted to talk to, there's my buddy Mark. No, let's talk to Zara, for example. No, she's in a private post. I don't want to talk to Zara. I will talk to Mark right here. Okay, so here's a chat with Mark. And so as you can see at the bottom, I have a number of options. I can just type in the text, which is normal, like everything else. I can add images, using the image thing. So if I click on image, I can select an image for Mark. Let's see what would be a good image for Mark. He'll like, let's give him, yeah, we'll give him this burger. He'll like that. So I'm going to send him the burger image there. Okay, and you can see it goes in there, and I can type in text. Let's see, mushroom burger. I used to do typing emojis manually. I'm going to click on the emoji icon here and put in one of their emojis. And then we'll just hit enter. Just hit send. Okay, so now Mark got a message and he's got an image. And as you can see, when he types, it goes on one side. You can see his icon next to his post. And then on my side, on the other side, is my icon and what I sent to him. So it's very easy to tell what's what, even on the phone. You can also send, pictures take a picture by clicking on the camera, the usual deal, and then GIFs for animated GIFs. If you click on this little triple ellipsis thing, then you get ability to send your current location, which could be handy. You can share any location. It doesn't have to be your location. And so if I do share location, and let's say we search for, and it goes right to Google Maps, Pepper Dock Restaurant, which is where this burger came from, I can send that to Mark like that. And so next time he's in Seattle, he knows exactly where to find this kind of burger. So that's pretty handy. And also you can send a file, which I haven't done yet, but I'm assuming it's pretty easy. And you can doodle. So that's like in the Hangouts, or I can say, something like that, and send it, and it goes as a little image there. So you can actually do a little doodling. So it's, a little gimmicky, but at the same time could be useful for some things if you want to just jot something or draw something for somebody or something like that. It's convenient to have these kind of features. I mean, it's very nice. Notice that they're a little bit hidden because there's not enough room on the phone, but it's perfectly fine because those are not typically used features. They're just once in a while, so you can still get to them with just one more tap. So very nice. They did a beautiful job with that. Okay. In addition to that, you can see on the left there, we have me and we, two icons to select. And those initially were kind of a mystery to me. And so the way me works is if you click on me, which I'm going to do right now, you will see me there, and it's a countdown, and then it takes some pictures. And now it just does nothing more than, see, it says on the bottom there, it says disappearing message sent, self-destructs in 24 hours. So the message is basically nothing more than a few pictures that it shoots in the case of a few seconds, and that's what goes out to the other person. If you do we, and you tap on we, then it shows the background camera, okay? And then once that's that, then it sends it. And so both of these are what they call disappearing messages, meaning you can record either yourself with the front camera or whatever is behind your back camera of the phone. And then that's the message, whatever the pictures takes, that's the message goes out to the recipient. And then if they don't check it, because this is Mission Impossible moment, if they don't check it within 24 hours, it's going to get deleted. So it's a very temporary message, think Snapchat type thing. And also, if they watch it, I believe that once the person sees it, it's automatically going to destruct at that point. I don't think it's going to even wait 24 hours. I'm not positive about it, but I think the idea is that it's a one-time deal. You see the message, you consume it, you're done. But I haven't tried it, so I can't tell you if it's actually going to be there for the other person for the full 24 hours, so they can watch it multiple times, or if they watch it one time and then it disappears. I think it's the latter, but I'm not positive. It could be the 24-hour thing, in which case, people could look at it more than one time within that time frame. Most likely, it might actually make sense to do it that way. So that's a very kind of unique, totally different. There's nothing like this that was in Google Plus, or pretty much any other type network I've seen in terms of Facebook or any of those kind of things. I mean, like I said, we have Snapchat for disappearing stuff. You have Instagram stories where they disappear after a while, but it's not exactly the same kind of thing as this, especially since it's part of your whole chat experience. And the beauty of this thing is if you actually hold down the button when you click on it, and you don't just tap and then it takes all these images and then sends them, but if you actually hold it down, if you press and hold, then it's going to continue recording for as long as you continue holding. So I don't know if there's any kind of limit. There might be, but you can actually record a message with voiceover and everything else. So if you just want to take a bunch of shots, you tap it. If you want to actually record something with voiceover and video and everything else, then you simply click and hold it, or tap and hold it for the duration of your message, and then you let go, and that's what's going to go out there. So very, very interesting option, very handy for many things, and convenient. Also, I just wanted to mention that when you type in your content, when you type in your text, you have the emoji icon here, which you can add, some of their bigger emojis here, right? But at the same time, feel free that if you're using your keyboard, like I'm using my Gboard, for example, so let's give an example there. So there's my Gboard. I still have my icon for my emojis that I normally do with Gboard, which I can also insert in there. So that's what that would look like. Okay, it goes ahead, and so you can use either one. You can use the ones that MeWe supplies from clicking on that emoji icon, or you can do it from your Gboard. Either way, it works pretty well. So that's pretty much what chat's all about. Very nice, very convenient, very simple. And of course, if anybody replies or writes something to you, then you'll see the little red dimple appear next to the chats on the bottom. Then you have your notifications, and that's where it tells you all the different things that are going on. So there's something like I got accepted into this community or group, as they call it here. Again, I need to get used to these new terms. At the top there, and notice it's a little bit ghosted, meaning I already checked that that's the fact, so I already know it. But then it says Feaster Smith and 9 others emojied your post, and it shows that right now I have 11 apparently thumbs up because I'm one of them. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's one of these deals, there or their count may be a little bit off. I don't know. So if I click on it, it'll take me right to that post, and I can see, what the post they're talking about, and what people did, and comments, and emojis, everything else. So that's basically how you do that. And there's also Carmelita Sotomayor Reversi Riveral, sorry, emoji my comment here. So if I click on that, it'll take me and show me what was that all about. Okay, and so now everything is ghosted, meaning I already checked everything else, so I don't have any new notifications I haven't seen yet, and so I don't have to worry about anything. And then the last icon on the right, which is more, shows me all the details about what's going on with my account. So I can easily invite additional contacts by clicking on the invite contacts icon right there. I can look and see what my contacts are. And notice it shows me I have 47 contacts. I don't have any requests. People inviting me. I have all these people that so far became contacts. And contacts are the people that follow you, basically, and also the people you can easily interact with, and you can see their content if you choose to. You have an option to say, I want to see their content, or I don't want to see their content. I want to be notified about their stuff, or I don't want to be notified. So all of that is there, which is very handy. Notice at the top you have a row of other social media platforms there that allow you to send an invite so people follow you here. So you can just do generic share, or you can go directly to Facebook, or you can go to, that was a mistake. Then there is my profile icon on the right there. That allows me to see the details about my profile, and you can change the cover image. You can change your little image. By the way, each group can have its own image, so you can have different icons for different groups and things. Then it's got some other information you can put in. So your posts, everything is basically going in there, so it's pretty cool. And then we've got QR code, which is something you can show to people so they can, you can scan somebody's code to be able to join via QR code, which is pretty cool, especially for me since I'm Mr. QR code. And then you can click on my QR code, looks like this. And so if you scan that, you're able to go ahead and join me basically, or connect with me on MeWe. So it's pretty slick. So feel free to grab your phone right now and scan this code, and feel free to connect with me there. We'll give you another 5 seconds here to get your phone quickly and scan it. By the way, for those that don't know, if you don't have a QR scanner on your phone, you can easily do it through, if it's an iPhone, you can do it through the camera app. You simply point the camera like you would take a picture at the QR code, and then you will see a link appear at the top of the window. You don't need to be clicking take pictures or anything. You just simply point the camera as if you're going to take a picture, but you don't actually take any pictures. And then it will appear, the link will appear for the QR code at the top of the display there on your phone, and you just tap it to get into it, and you go from there. So that's how you can scan QR codes using iPhones on iOS. And if you have Android, like I do, then you can use Google Lens. You can use it as a standalone app, but that's like getting a QR scanner app anyway, so you don't really gain anything that way. But the Google Lens is built into the Google Assistant right now, and Google Photos too. So you can do it from Google Photos, but you do need to take a picture to be able to use the Google Lens and Google Photos. It's not as convenient yet as on iOS, although on Pixel 3 phones, it is just as easy. Is my understanding is the new camera app on Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL from Google does allow you to have the same capabilities where you just simply point and it'll show the link. Hopefully they'll bring it to all the rest of the Androids. But for now, you can click on the tap and hold the home button to go into your Google Assistant, or you can just say, okay, Google, and I shouldn't have said that, but 1 second. And then you can select the Google Lens icon from there, and then it's going to go ahead and scan the code. So you don't have to take necessarily pictures or have an app. You can just use Google Lens capability within Google Assistant or Google Photos to be able to scan this code. Okay, with that said, hopefully we had enough time. Let's move back here. We have my account, which has a bunch of personal information there. You can have as much or as little as you want. You can send them feedback, and I've sent them a couple of little things, and they seem to be responsive. You also can go to MeWe Store. If you go to MeWe Store, that's where they sell. That's, again, how they monetize. So you can buy the voice and video calling, like I said, for $2 a month. Secret chat is surprised they don't show you how much secret chat is. I'm sure it's probably something similar, something very inexpensive. Then you have your emojis, the bread emojis, bees emojis, team tacos, and blobs. I don't particularly like that they're that special or great, so I don't think I'll be buying any Playful Planets emojis or anything like that. I'm not big into emojis. But if you are, then you can get those, and you can buy them right from the store right there. So, for example, bees emojis look like this, and you can buy them for 99 cents. So, everything is relatively cheap. It's a one-time purchase. I mean, the voice and the video would be $2 a month, so it's ongoing subscription. And same thing with Secret Chat, as you can see, it's under subscriptions. But the emojis are one-off buys, and that's what the store is. And then my events, that's where you have whatever events you had or will have. Like I had this event, I said I only had one I set up before, so there it is right there. And to get into it, obviously you click on it, it gets you right into it. And on the event side, you can see that you can invite various people that are members of that particular group, I guess, because it's an event for a group. Events, one of the things that's disappointing so far with this event thing is that you cannot have events associated with pages. So if you're setting up a page for your business, you'd like to have events, there's no way to do it. So the only way you can do this if you set it up as a group. And of course, you can set it up as a private group, or you can set up as a public group, but not allow people to join. So there's different ways to handle that part. But then you can have events tied to the group, and then it'll show up like this, where you can have multiple group members that you're inviting. It kind of makes sense why they don't allow it for pages, because if you think about being able to invite people to your event, these people need to be members of something. And so theoretically, since you have a bunch of connections in terms of your, the people that follow you, not any particular group, they just follow you, you should be able to invite all of them. I mean, I would think so. But the way they, set it up is that they're trying to say that if you have a group dedicated to your business, then you're going to have a community of people around that specifically interested in that particular group, and also the people you'd be inviting to events. It kind of makes sense if you think of it that way, but I wish they had a little bit more flexibility so pages can also be used to invite to be tied to calendar, to tied to events for that page, and be able to invite your followers. I think that would be very useful. Maybe they'll do it later, but that's what the event looks like. And you can see, you can indicate location of the event. In my case, it's a YouTube video. So here, if I click on that, no, I guess I can't click on it. So on the desktop, I can click on it, but on the mobile here, it looks like I can't. Interesting. Yeah, I can't click on it. Very interesting. All right, so we'll get back out of here. And it does let me go to the calendar if I click on the date, as you saw there, but it doesn't let me click on the, YouTube video doesn't let me do it. Interesting. Okay, so that's the tie-in to that. Also notice that they don't have a way I can add a new event from here by being in events, but if you go to here, the only way you can get to events is from this last panel, this more panel, which kind of doesn't really make any sense to me, because events are pretty important, and you would think events would be part, they would be somewhere on the bottom there, so maybe they'll add it later. But right now, the only way you can, if you just look at the main navigation, let's say you go home, you have your main navigation there. The only options you have are communities at the bottom, chat, notifications, and then more. And the more is where the events are. So I guess I can kind of see their thinking there too. But they're kind of making it as a secondary thing, and I think it should be made as a primary thing, in my opinion. But that's that. So that's the more menu, and that's pretty much it for the interface and for the functionality of MeWe. As you notice that when I get into it, I had a little red dot next to the home button at the bottom there. And so when I clicked into it, you can see I have some new posts there, and you just go through it however you want to consume it. But the thing I wanted to point out that it's pretty quick. As you can see, when I scroll through it, it's very responsive. If I wanted to click on this article, I click on it, it'll open it pretty quickly too. First, it opens YouTube in this case. So no problem there. If I go and click here, I don't know what this is, it shows the picture. If I click on some kind of group, yeah, so she's inviting, it's an invite to go to a group called Music That Moves My Soul. 11 members, so we'll see later on, see what it is. But like I said, the biggest problem I have with these invitations is you can't really tell what the group is about. It just says, anyone can join and share music notes, links of their own creations, but it's a lot of times you actually want to see what people post to make a determination whether you want to join it or not. Of course, keep in mind that you can join any group you want. Well, in this case here, it says apply, which means you can't just simply join it. You actually have to apply to join the group. And a lot of these groups, when you set up new groups, you can indicate if you want to have them public or private. And if you make them public, you can actually add, I think, up to 4 questions that people get asked, and then the moderators or the owners can see before they approve or disapprove you. So you can make it so people automatically can join a particular group, but they still have to fill out these questions, and which you can have, as little as 1 question, or they have to wait for they can say, I want to apply, but doesn't mean you're going to be accepted. So it's very nicely done from a security standpoint. Of course, you can always kick somebody out if you let them in and then you decided they're not going to be worthy, then you kick them out. Again, going back to the discussion here, that it's very nice how they set this kind of capability up, with the exception of the fact that you can see the posts in the group. So that's that. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I covered pretty much everything there is to cover. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them to me on MeWe, or until Google Plus dies completely on the public side over there. You'll also be able to find me on the G Suite side, so feel free to connect there. On MeWe, you can connect via the QR code that was there before. And as I said in my review of the desktop version, I think these folks did an outstanding job in many ways. They basically came up with practically identical functionality to Google Plus in many ways, in terms of capabilities, features, communities, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, they've added a bunch of additional features that are even surpassed, in my view, what Google Plus could do in terms of basic functionality and enhanced functionality, like the Me and We capabilities that I talked about earlier, to send these temporary messages, plus some other features they've done with the way you comment and the voice messages that you can leave. I mean, it's a totally different way to use and communicate with people, and it doesn't detract at all from, people were saying on Google Plus, you had this amazing community of people, you can do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you had an amazing community of people and they did a lot of stuff, but it had nothing to do with Google Plus per se. It was just a very convenient tool to use to disseminate information, and it was nicely done. It looked nice, people liked it, so a lot of people joined it. Not to say that the reason the information was so phenomenal or some of the content was so incredible was because of Google Plus. It had nothing to do. It was just a tool. I mean, you could post the same information on Facebook. You can post the same information on other places. Can't do it on Twitter because of the limitation of size, but certainly there's other software out there, including your own websites, blogs, where you can be doing this, and it's not a problem. So it's, with all my respect for Google Plus, and I did love it, and I did use it since the beginning, this particular platform here is just as potent as Google Plus was, even more so in many ways. And of course, the biggest benefit to it compared to Google Plus is that this will actually continue, hopefully, for many years to come. And hopefully these people, because this is their only product as far as I know, I don't think they're going to be doing what Google is doing, killing off its children because they feel like it, regardless of how many hundreds of millions signed up for it. So as my friend David Amerlin pointed out, that there's major erosion of trust for Google because of what they're doing with killing some of these services. And I couldn't agree with him more. There's definitely erosion in trust, not to the point where people say they're not using any Google services any longer, forget Google. So people are not doing that, but people are definitely irritated, and people are definitely not happy with the way Google Plus is shutting down, why it's shutting down, things like that. So we don't really have any beef, substantial beef to have with Google, because they didn't charge us anything for it. So, I mean, they spent a ton of money, they spent a ton of time and resources, and now they're shutting it down. Definitely their decisions, their product, their company, they can do whatever they want, especially with a free product. But at the same time, it definitely leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and no question that my diehard support of Google, no matter what in the past, has left me a while back, after they killed Spaces, and after they killed Wave, and they killed the Reader, and many other things that they've killed, including now killing Google Plus on the public side. No question that next time Google starts something substantial in terms of apps, it's not going to be an automatic, oh my God, I want to join it, I want to use it, I want to support it. No, not at all, because of the situation that's going on here. But these MeWe folks seem to be very much on the ball, and they're interested in making this a good platform, and they're welcoming everybody, and they're trying to make it so it's not going to become a botnet cesspool like Google Plus became lately. And so I think it's good. So that's kind of my quick overview of the mobile app for MeWe. If you have any questions, please leave them either below the video on YouTube or on MeWe or on Google Plus while it's still alive, and I'll be happy to answer them. I hope you find this app as useful and friendly and capable as I have, and I definitely both endorse it and recommend it. Till next time.